My name is Regina Piles, and I am a senior associate within the planning department at CGL Companies. When planning critical justice facility projects, there are several ways that public and private collaboration can be improved. I'll say here that the engagement and communications channels are even more important than they have been in years. Sometimes the teams are large. The management exists not just with the prime, but also a series of sub-consultants, and making sure that everyone's on the same page about the language, about the approach, regardless of their level on the tier of the project, becomes important. And working with the private sector and the public sector within the public sector, the stakeholders have grown, the government entities involved in processes have changed. So there could be a general services department that is the one building the new building, but there's a separate department that will be occupying, like a Department of Corrections. So you could have multiple users with competing interests, with different directives, and then you still have the team, you have the neighborhood, you have the advocacy groups, you have the other occupants of the building, and being able to integrate successfully together is sometimes one of the greatest challenges. But being able to come together and keep the why in mind, keep the approach and the language consistent, spending the necessary time with the team members and with the project so that everyone is familiar with what's happening and how it should be referred can go a long way to establishing a good collaborative effort. As planners, our primary obligation is to serve the public interest. So as communities grow and change, as the priorities shift, planners are always tuned in. We're always working to understand what's happening and then help our communities now and in the future. Planners are connectors, they're integrators. They are your short, medium, and long-term thinkers. Our training is such that it's macro and it's micro, and having roles and spaces within our governments and our other entities for planners is critical. We say in APA, it takes a planner. So there are a number of things that planners in our training and application of the different skills we learned educationally can apply across the different projects that we have. We do research on trends, so we're looking at the future before it gets here. And it's always about the community for us. It becomes whether the communities, the leaders, the agency heads at the private companies and others are willing to embrace our unique sets of skills and abilities to contribute to public processes and to justice facilities in more meaningful ways. And then the profession embracing these facilities as fixtures in the community and understanding how everything continues to come together. Trying to build consensus amongst diverse groups is an ongoing effort. You really have to do those things like putting your hat on, trying to understand the different perspectives, because everyone comes to a project with a different perspective, with a different lived experience, and that certainly changes, whether you are a citizen within a neighborhood or an elected official, and seeking consensus, that is, agreement on a path forward. We understand that there may be some compromise involved. You may not get everything that you're seeking, but we try to satisfy the needs and the broader community objective of having this new facility sited in your community that will be of the use and sufficient criteria that is desired. Creating and maintaining momentum and trust in a project that lasts long term is something that takes sometimes considerable effort, because our clients and our constituents, they are working people, they have other things happening, they have competing priorities. So one of the things that we can do is emphasizing the wins and continuing to bring people along with us. Things like newsletter updates that go beyond just a website that people may or may not visit, mailers, general outreach that's periodic, that says, hey, we're still here and this is where we are in the project. We got approval on this, we received a new notification on that, we're entering design, and really making the extra effort to create the communication pieces and keep the channels open throughout the process, and continuing to tap into the resources that have reach, who can spread the information further about what's happening in the project, are really important. Because internally, the meeting fatigue might set in if they're working on the project with you and we're doing a lot of meetings, but maybe not a lot of things are happening. Kind of reminding them, hey, this is where we were, this is where we're going, and these are all the good things that have happened so far. Or if it's on the community side and there's not as much out there about the plan development, just being able to go back to a group. We've seen this happen during conceptual design, where we're not ready to present anything yet, but we still go to the community group and we say, hey, we're still here, we're still working, we've got a little more information for you, and we'll see you back in a couple of months with a big update. I think that helps keep you present with the group, or within your own internal group, moving the project forward and keeping that trust.